My name is Angela O'Donnell, and I'm going to be telling you about the demand analyst position. This is an infographic that I created to give you a snapshot of the demand analyst position. Most of the information that's on this infographic I'll be going over later in the presentation, but I think it's important to point out that demand analysts in the United States make between $55,000 and $94,000 annually, with an average of $71,000. These are some of the daily tasks that demand analysts complete on a daily basis. So the first section of tasks is forecasting. So they have to look at data and not only recognize patterns and trends, but also be able to take those patterns and trends and then identify the best type of forecasting method to utilize in order to have the most accurate data. So, and then the data when they develop these accurate forecasts, they go to planning and affect the production schedule. The next is collaboration. So they have to collaborate with sales and purchasing, because something that sales and marketing may be planning on coming out with could affect and impact the forecast. So they have to take into consideration not only the previous data, but also what is up and coming. They also have to collaborate to create reports and presentations to management to communicate their findings. In addition, they have to take corrective actions. They have to perform root cause analysis. And with root cause analysis, if let's say their forecasted error was 50 units and they were off by 200, they have to figure out, well, why were we so far off? What is the one issue that had caused our forecast to be off by so much? And then how can we prevent that from happening again in the future? They also have to implement continuous improvement. So like lean principles state, every employee is responsible for implementing continuous improvement, and that the demand analyst is no exception. The next daily task is strategizing, and they have to create strategies, policies, and objectives for the planning function of the organization. And the reason that they do this is to make sure that everything across the organization is lining up, and they're not doing something that's completely different than planning, because the two will affect each other. They're also responsible for KPI tracking, not only tracking, but also developing the KPIs that they find to be most important. And in my opinion, the most important KPIs to demand analysts are the error KPIs, so MAD, MAPE, tracking signal, bias, depending on the forecast that you're using. But you want to minimize the error, and the error will allow the demand analyst to kind of understand how far off their forecast is from the actual sales data. There are two different types of skills required for a demand analyst. The first is technical and the second is communication skills. So with the technical skills, they have to have a strong analytical foundation, and what this means is that they need to really understand not only how to forecast, but why are they forecasting the way that they are? Why are they using one method over another? When do you use each of the different methods? And really understand where their data is coming from and why the numbers are what they are. They also have to understand forecasting, so they have to know the different types of forecasting methods so that they can apply the most accurate forecasting method to their data. And then they have to have a strong ERP understandings, because a lot of times their forecasting algorithms will go into an ERP system, and this will directly impact the production planning schedule. They have to also understand Microsoft Office applications, because that's how they're going to communicate their findings. This leads us to communication. They have to be team-oriented, because like I mentioned before, they have to work with other departments to come up with the most accurate forecast possible. They also have to have strong written skills, because they have to be able to write reports to management. They have to have strong oral skills because they have to present to management and other people in the company on their findings and, of course, why their findings are what they are. And then they have to give presentations, which kind of goes along with oral skills. Now, the prevalence of the position, demand analyst position is very similar domestically and internationally. What I found was that the descriptions, tasks, skills, qualifications, most of those are all the same, whether it be in the United States or internationally. The main difference is that international companies, most of the time, I noticed they required employees to speak the native language, but also have some sort of proficiency in English. Thank you. Do you have any questions? What was I at?